I refused to be free babysitting. I was 18 when my Aunt Tracy invited me and my best friend Lily to her big country house for the 4th of July weekend. It was supposed to be this fun little escape, bonfires, fireworks, maybe some paddleboarding on the lake with my dad's boat. Her house was huge, 4 proper bedrooms with queen beds, a giant master suite, and one ridiculous kids loft with 6 twin beds and a tiny stair ladder thing. We were hyped. I'd talked it up to Lily for weeks. Free food, open land, total freedom. But when we arrived, it immediately went south. Tracy handed us a sleeping chart. Apparently, we were assigned to sleep in the kids' room with a 1-year-old baby, twin 2-year-olds, and a 4-year-old. All of them belonged to my Aunt Melissa and Uncle Dan, who of course had their own quiet bedroom. My cousin Luke, who's 16, also got his own space with a TV and a bed to himself. But Lily and I, nope. We were apparently the designated overnight babysitters. Now, I'd stayed at Melissa's house once before. It was hell. The baby would start crying around 2 a.m., which set off the twins, and by the time you calmed them down, the 4-year-old would be up screaming for water or a nightlight or something else. Total chaos. No one in that room was going to get more than 90 minutes of sleep at a time. I told Tracy politely that Lily and I would rather just sleep on the couches in the den. They were comfy, and honestly, we just wanted a bit of peace. That's when it exploded. Melissa came out of nowhere like a banshee. She started yelling about how we were the ones who brought an extra person, Lily, so we needed to be useful and take care of the kids. She said someone had to be with them at night in case they woke up. And since Luke was a boy and doesn't know how to take care of toddlers, that left us. She literally said, "You're girls, and you're good with kids. That's your job this weekend." I was stunned. Not asked, assigned. Like I was a camp counselor. Lily looked completely shocked, just holding her overnight bag like it might shield her from Melissa's rage. No one else stepped in. Aunt Tracy just shrugged and said we'd have to figure it out. Melissa was still ranting while I quietly started pulling our stuff off the bunk bed in the kids' room and setting it up on the couches. Lily was helping, silently, when Melissa stormed in, grabbed our blankets, and threw them onto the floor. "Either you sleep in the kids' room," she shouted, "or you leave." That was it. I calmly told her if we couldn't sleep on the couches, we'd be going home. She lost it. Started yelling about how we'd ruined the weekend and how I brought the only truck with a trailer hitch for the boat, so if I left, no one could use it, as if that was my responsibility. Meanwhile, the whole family just stood there watching. My cousin Luke looked like he was watching a live TV drama. No one told Melissa to back off. No one defended us. So I grabbed my keys and told Lily we were leaving. Melissa followed us outside, still shouting about how she deserved one night of decent sleep and how I was being selfish. She actually said, "You should be grateful for the opportunity to help your family." I turned around and said, "You don't scream at people and throw their stuff and then ask for favors." She didn't stop, started crying about how exhausted she was and how nobody helped her and how she just needed a break. I almost felt bad for half a second until I remembered her screaming in Lily's face and throwing our blankets on the ground. I said, "That's not my problem," and kept loading the truck. When I tried to back up the trailer, Melissa literally stood behind it so I couldn't drive away. Lily looked terrified. I almost called 911. Uncle Dan finally came out, didn't apologize, didn't even really say anything, just pulled Melissa away from the truck and told her to let us go. She was still sobbing and shouting while we drove away. We drove the 3 hours home in almost total silence. I was burning with embarrassment. Lily just stared out the window for most of the ride. When we finally pulled into my driveway, she looked at me and said, "That was not the relaxing weekend you promised. Your family's intense." I haven't talked to Melissa or Dan since. Tracy texted once a week later, saying she wished we'd handled things more maturely. I didn't respond. Lesson learned: never go to a family gathering where your presence means free labor, especially if there are toddlers.